Welcome in, everyone. We have a fascinating, albeit, I got to admit, a little scary topic to discuss today, and it is right up there with the biggest things going on in the world, but no one really seems to be paying attention. Everyone seems to have missed it, but I would argue that it is rather significant. It has to do with China possibly preparing for a war, including up to a nuclear war with the United States, and what that means, and one big step they've taken that everyone should be paying attention to. But before we get into that, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps grow the channel. It's great for what we need to do, and I appreciate all of you. So as we know, tensions between China and the United States over the South China Sea, Taiwan, have kind of been ticking up over time. And one of the big things with new Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is he's a bit of a China hawk. President Donald Trump has made it clear that he won't tolerate much of anything from the CCP, from the Chinese, although the TikTok thing is a discussion probably for another day. The reality is this: China's window to take Taiwan opens, according to U.S. military experts, in 2027. The window closes in 2030 or 2031. So that gives them, you got 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031. You've got what the United States military believes is a 5-year window where, in theory, the Chinese military would be able to make a move on Taiwan. This is why we're seeing the Chinese military undergo a massive buildup in modernization. They released what some people believe to be a 6th-generation fighter jet. They are pumping out new naval ships at a shocking pace. Doesn't mean those naval ships are on par with ours in terms of quality and capabilities, but they're playing a numbers game. They don't care about having the best gear as long as they have enough gear to overwhelm anything we might be able to bring to the fight over Taiwan in the South China Sea to defend another ally of ours, whatever it might be. And we've known this for a long time. We've been monitoring this for a long time. The United States government is aware of the massive Chinese buildup. They're trying to build their nuclear arsenal, modernize their nuclear arsenal for the longest time. It's not been known if China had a guaranteed second strike authority, which would be what you would need in order for mutually assured destruction. It is believed that if they don't have it yet, they are rapidly closing in on it. But what I want to talk about today is this bombshell report from the Financial Times. I'm filming this on January 31st, 2025. This was published on January 30th, 2025. And the headline is, China builds new wartime military command center in Beijing. Subheadline, complex will be bigger than Pentagon and include bomb-proof bunkers for leaders, U.S. intelligence officials say. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing for you. It is on the Financial Times. It is a must-read for anyone that is interested in military history, current events, foreign affairs, intel, espionage, the whole thing. But I am going to read bits and pieces here that I find interesting. Let's start with this. China's military is building a massive complex in western Beijing that U.S. intelligence believes will serve as a wartime command center far larger than the Pentagon, according to current and former American officials. Specifically, this compound is going to be 10 times the size of the Pentagon, is the belief. Here we go. Satellite images obtained by the Financial Times that are being examined by U.S. intelligence show a roughly 1,500-acre construction site 30 kilometers southwest of Beijing with deep holes that military experts assess will house large, hardened bunkers to protect Chinese military leaders during any conflict, including potentially a nuclear war. It is being dubbed in another part as Beijing Military City, and the construction comes as the PLA develops new weapons and projects ahead of the forces. Centauri, I don't know what that is. In 2027, the United States intelligence says President Xi Jinping has also ordered the PLA to develop the capability to attack Taiwan by then. So that's what I'm talking about. That's when the window opens. The window for China to attack Taiwan opens in 2027, and then it will go till 2031. Now that we have the timeline that is established for when China, according to U.S. intelligence, is going to try to take Taiwan, we have this, again, to me, it's a bombshell report, we have found out from the Financial Times that China is apparently building a massive nuclear bunker to house its government 10 times the size of the Pentagon. Things probably costing billions and billions and billions of dollars. You don't build something like that unless you intend to use it, and they need it ready to go by 2027, which is when the window opens for Taiwan to take action, for China to take action on Taiwan and launch a potential invasion. This is hilarious, though. In this article, they asked the Chinese embassy in Washington about it and says it is not aware of any details, but stressed that China was committed to the path of peaceful development and defense policy that is defensive in nature. Interesting. Defensive in nature. Now, some people might look at this and argue, hey, it's not that big of a deal. They're just building their version of the Pentagon. Well, they already have one of those, number one. This is 10 times the size of the Pentagon with reportedly deep underground nuclear bunkers that are designed solely to stop a nuke and or a bunker-busting munition from hitting it. Why does China think that they need a massive 1,500-acre military underground city if they don't plan on using it? Because right now, everything's been fine for China. The status quo has worked for them. We have obviously never attacked them. They have never attacked us. Seems like everything's going well. Now, all of a sudden, with tensions ticking up and up and up, now we're learning that they might be building a massive fallout, a massive nuclear bunker that is meant to certainly stop American nukes. It's not going to stop Taiwanese nuclear weapons. The Taiwanese don't have nuclear weapons. So is it going to stop Russian nukes? I find that hard to believe as well. Why would Russia be nuking Beijing? That doesn't make any sense. The French and the Brits certainly aren't going to do it. For all these reasons, it is interesting to me, and to me it is another data point that, like, let's look at this quote right here from Dennis Wilder, the former head of China analysis for the CIA. If confirmed, this new advanced underground command bunker for the military leadership, including President Xi, is the chairman of the Central Military Commission, signals Beijing's intent to build not only a world-class conventional force, but also an advanced nuclear war-fighting capability. Interesting. So we have China that is pouring billions of dollars into this facility, that is modernizing its military, rapidly growing its Navy, rapidly growing its Air Force, showcasing never-before-seen weapons. And they're doing this while also under the belief that they're rapidly expanding their nuclear arsenal. All of this, one point by itself probably doesn't prove much. One point by itself could mean anything. You know, everyone wants to have a good Air Force. Everyone wants to have a good Navy. Nuclear powers want to have the best nukes. That's just the nature of the beast. I will say our nukes are significantly more powerful and accurate than what China has, and we can leave it at that. Once you add all of them together, though, and then you add in the fact that they are building what appears to be the world's most advanced, if it's true, 1,500-acre bunker designed solely to stop American nuclear strikes, means that they have the intention of possibly doing something that would then trigger a nuclear response from the United States of America. What could that be? Well, let's game plan it a little bit. Let's say they move on Taiwan. We hit them hard to keep them off. They next hit targets in Guam, South Korea, and Japan. We then strike mainland China. They then strike bases in Pearl Harbor, maybe Alaska. At that point, the only real card left to play for either side is to start firing off nuclear weapons, if that were to be the chain of events. There's many other things that could happen. And China knows it cannot win a nuclear war against the United States. It doesn't have enough missiles. We have, I believe, about 5 times minimum more nuclear missiles than the Chinese do. We can deploy them from deep underwater with submarines, stealth bombers, the brand new stealth B-21 bomber, and then obviously we have land-based missile silos as well. China's nuclear deterrent strategy is to actually hide nukes and wait for our first strike, maybe a second strike, and then bring those nukes out possibly weeks later to retaliate. unless, again, they've modernized to the point they don't need to do that anymore. I don't know. But this bunker being built, to me, is a signal China is not playing around. It is a signal the Chinese are taking this seriously. And if the Chinese are taking this seriously, then the United States needs to take this seriously as well and prepare accordingly and deter any further aggression. Anyways, that's it. I hope you all enjoy this. Go read the full piece on the Financial Times. Comment below what you think the Chinese are up to, because I'd be very curious to see what you all have to say. And make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.